She was very, very fond of Winnipeg, and she visited Winnipeg more often than Washington, D.C. or Paris or a lot of world capitals.
Queen Elizabeth II had a big impact on Winnipeg, visiting the prairie capital 6 times during her reign. And now a new exhibit on display here at Union Station is exploring the evolution of architecture in the city, now known as the modern Elizabethan era. Exhibition curator Daniel Gunther says the period during Queen Elizabeth's reign cannot be defined by a single architectural style. Over 7 decades, the world and Winnipeg witnessed changes in the architectural landscape, highlighted by modern designs and historical restorations.
We have some of the most fantastic architecture in Canada and some of the most fantastic architecture in the world.
The exhibit starts in the 1950s in the aftermath of the war, says Gunther. It was a decade where designers wrestled with ideas of tradition and progress at a time when Canada was less than a century old. He says the 60s was an era of celebration, while the 70s saw architects using modernist designs with updated construction materials. The 80s featured civic rejuvenation, and in the 90s, architects reimagined the form and function of the city center. The year 2000 saw skylines transform, and by 2010, Winnipeg was a modern prairie metropolis that is continuing its evolution today.
Which then creates the modern Elizabethan era that we're exhibiting.
The exhibit, produced by the Winnipeg Architecture Foundation and the Federal Department of Canadian Heritage, is on display in Winnipeg until January 8th, before moving to other galleries and locations throughout 2023. Gunther says Winnipeg has many world-class buildings, but the Royal Canadian Mint is at the top of his list when asked what buildings a person should try and visit.
It's still amazing that Winnipeg has this world-class facility that not only makes coins for Canada, but many Commonwealth countries and many other nations around the world. And it's a fantastic piece of architecture done by a local architect, and it's a very special building.
In Winnipeg, Mark Neufeld, City News.